Hey everyone, welcome back to another Transformers toy review. Today we're going to take a look at Autobot Jazz. This is from the Studio series. This is a series based on the Transformers 86 movie, the animated movie, and a series of figures kind of commemorating that, kind of updated versions of those. We've seen it already with the kind of proper film version, but the animated for most people, including myself, is the real film that most people really enjoyed. This one that I sort of go back to, so you get updated versions of these. So I've already taken a look at Grimlock. I've got Jazz here to review. I've also got Blur, and then also as well in the line I think coming along is Hot Rod, which I've got due as well, and Scourge. I'm sure there's others that are yet to be announced or on the way as well. Yeah, and without further ado, take a look at the figure and the packaging. Take a big swig of tea. So as you can see here, you've got like a display actually within here, so you can actually take that out and display Jazz with it, which we will do at some point. But we'll just take a look at the box first of all, and you get some pretty cool artwork there of Jazz looking pretty pleased with himself at the front here, and the Transformers movie logo on the front here, and you get a scene there from the Transformers moon base. I forget if they're Moon Base 1 or 2. Jazz to Moon Base 2. Yeah, maybe they're on Moon Base 1 and they're calling Moon Base 2. Yeah, I'm trying to think of it off the top of my head. Studio Series 86 deluxe class figure, and then on the back here you see big screen inspired scale detail backdrop, and you get him here showing in vehicle mode and robot mode. Moonbase 1 destruction. There we are, Moonbase 1. So it is Jazz to Moonbase 2, Jazz to Moonbase 2, come in. Something along those lines, eh? Autobot Jazz makes a futile escape as Unicron devours Moonbase 1. 20 steps for transformation. And then here on the side here as well. And you can take this out, open it up, and you can take that out, just pop it down here. So I'm going to take the box off to one side, move my tea out of the way, and then you've got your kind of moon base pop up in here. Just adjust the screen slightly, the phone, and then you can have him kind of in there for scale as well. I'm just going to pop Jazz down there just for a scale thing. If you want him alongside Cliff Jumper, who I believe was with him on the moon base. So you've got Cliff Jumper there alongside Jazz, and I think that scale works pretty well as well. And the backdrop's pretty nice. The only thing is they do take up a fair bit of space, so if you've got a lot of figures and you're looking to display a load, it isn't really ideal. However, if you're just sort of starting up your collection and you really want to showpiece sort of a couple of figures and kind of spread them out, these are really ideal. You could probably have one on here and then a couple further down if you've got a bit of room there. But yeah, they're quite cool. Yeah, I probably will keep them, but not necessarily display them. At the moment, I do have Grimlock with his. So, yeah, so we've got that as well. Oh, the other Studio Series figure I forgot about is Cup. So we've got him to review as well. So I'm just going to move this down a little bit. So we do have his instruction manual, which takes you through everything. It's fairly clear. And shows you some of the other figures in the line, like I mentioned, Cup and Blur, as I just remembered, and shows you how he can hold his gun. He can also store it in this mode as well. So here he is in his robot mode. And first of all, he cleans up really nicely. You've got all of everything kind of tucked away. Normally with Jazz, what you see is the kind of side wings come out either side. So they've kind of cleared that up. The paint is really nice. So it's white paint. And you see the blue and the red is done really well. He can hold his gun in either hand, or as mentioned, you can kind of slot it on the back. I guess either like that or up like that, whichever you prefer. But it can slot in either way. And the gun itself is in white plastic, which is painted silver, apart from these kind of bits here in the handle. So it's done pretty well. It's kind of your signature Jazz blaster, really. Holds it in his hand, absolutely fine. And you can even, can you rotate it around? Don't know if his hands don't rotate around because they move in and out here for transformation, unfortunately. But the head sculpt is pretty good. Spot on for Jazz, in my opinion. Really kind of cool looking face sculpt. Yeah, he's just got a really cool kind of look about him, isn't he? I just love the shape of Jazz's head in general, and the visor going across. Yeah, it's great. Lots of panel work detailing going on here. Nice blue paint and tampo there. Silver across here. Blue paint here. And nice red kind of paint going across there. It's done really nicely. And even underneath here you get silver paint and blue in here as well. And silver for his legs. And then down for his feet as well. So plenty of paint apps on this guy. And not too many kind of hollow kind of spots. You got in here. This bit's fine. A little bit in here. Nothing too hateful. And a bit around the back. It doesn't really show up so bad because it's kind of black, so you can't really tell so much. In terms of articulation, the head can go a little bit side to side for the confused Jazz look. It rotates all the way around. Can look down a fair bit. Up a little, just a shade. The arms kind of come out like this, which seems to be a common thing they've done with a couple of these figures, where they kind of come out and they don't ruin the sculpt. It's like on a kind of a hinge there, and then the arm still rotates around, and then a bicep swivel there, and then a bend in the arm there, which takes you up to about 90. So pretty decent. And then you do get waist articulation. It does go all the way around. You kind of do have to move this up a little bit if you want to take it all the way around, but certainly more than you'll ever need. The leg, you do get a swivel in here. It's a little bit tight, but it is there. The leg can go up to there. It's all on that kind of friction, and then back to there. It's kind of, you can kind of get it back to there, but you kind of risk sort of scraping that onto there, really, doing so. And then the knee does kind of come out there, but I think it is supposed to peg in there. Yeah, so it's supposed to peg in there, but kind of gets you back to there, sorry. So roughly about 90. So just show you that that knee does peg out. So obviously you haven't pegged it in properly to start off with. And then the feet falling back there, and then you just get a tilt, and that goes all the way out like that. So you can get some pretty wide poses with him. He's a pretty mean looking fella. I'll tell you what would have been really cool is if he had that, what's it called? He had the attachment that he had in the first couple of episodes of the cartoon, where he's got like a grapple gun. That would have been really good if that kind of flipped out and he had that. That would have been quite a cool accessory. I know it doesn't really tie in with the movie, but it just would be cool. And then from there, what we'll do is we'll bring in as a size comparison, a few other figures, including Jazz from the Power of the Primes line. So we'll bring him in for a bit of a size comparison. So if I just stand him up right here, obviously I bring in, we mentioned about Cliff Jumper as well, so his little buddy here. So, and that scale works pretty well. And what I'll do is I'll just have to grab a couple of other figures and I'll bring them in for a size comparison also. Yeah, so here we are. We've got the Power of the Primes version next to him. And yeah, I mean, they look very different. The Studio Series is, you know, going very much for a look that's out of the cartoon and absolutely nails it. I don't mind the Power of the Primes version. It was good for the time. It's a little bit taller, but there is a lot more articulation and posability in the new Studio Series version. Also, you know, there's things like, I don't know, like the arms and stuff are a little bit naff with this bit clipped on here. Yeah, and I think the head sculpt is much better on this version of Jazz as opposed to that one. But you know, it's okay, and I'm probably going to keep hold of this one if I do need it for like a combine or anything else like that. So still a good figure. And then just bring in another figure from the Studio Series line. Got Blur there as a bit of a comparison. So, you know, roughly about the same size, I would say. Blur's got a bit of a big noggin on him compared to the others. But, yeah, not too bad. And then we'll take a look and see if we can get this guy transformed, and we'll take a look at him in his vehicle mode. First off, remove the gun and pop it off by the side there. You're going to bring these bits forward like that along the side here. You're then going to bring these leg pieces in like that. You probably want to straighten up the ankles if you've moved them off to the side. Try and straighten up these ankles as well. This piece here is going to kind of come out, and everything's going to kind of fold out. So this piece here kind of comes out from underneath here, like so. Like that. Then straighten these out a little bit. This bit's going to lift up like so. Their head should drop back into there. Or does it go the other way around? Let's bring this bit forward like that. And this other bit back like that. It's a little bit of a crunch there between the two, so might have got this the wrong way around. So let's try this again. Have that forward like that, and then bring his head forwards like that towards you. It doesn't go through the other way, as I just found out. Bring that bit up like that. This bit here will come in and fold into that gap in there, like so. The arms will come round and go into here. The hands will fold in as well. Like that. For the moment, just put them like that till I remember where to put them and double check the instructions. So fold them out like that. Have them like that for the time being. I'm pretty sure these bits come out and fold into the side here, but just to be 100% certain. Yeah, that was the other thing, is this piece here actually folds into that gap there. If I remember this correctly. It fold into there. It swivels round like that, which gives you the space to then bring the arms down. That was the bit that got me last time. So you're then able to then bring the arms down with these pegs facing outwards, like that. And they'll just tab into there. And then the leg pieces, so swivel that around like that. These pieces will come down, peg into there, and there, like that. So you can see the front piece is kind of coming into shape. This piece here, like that, and then it will fold in like that into kind of typical jazz style, where the legs kind of fold in on themselves like that. Peg that into there, and then a case of lining everything up. This piece here will go into there, and just tidy it all up. And then you've got yourself a jazz. It's a pretty cool, there we go, that tabs in better there. It's a pretty neat looking vehicle mode, it has to be said. You've got the number 14 on the side here, silver on the wheels, a little bit of it's gone over just on the side here. Lovely translucent windows all around, with a slight tinge of blue to the number 14 on here. And the blue and red paint goes really well all the way down. Lovely sculpted detail on the figure as well. Headlights and all the grills down here. Yeah, it's just a really solid looking vehicle mode. It rolls really nice as well. And then you can peg the gun onto there, which, you know, I don't think I'll really do with that. I don't know if the gun stores it anywhere else in this mode. It doesn't look as if it does. Sometimes they kind of fold in underneath or anything else like that, but there's nothing to indicate in the instructions that they do. What we'll do next is we'll take a look at him, alongside Cliff Jumper and the Power of the Primes version of Jazz, as well as a bit of a size comparison. Right, so for a bit of a size comparison, I'll take off this bit here. I'll bring in Cliff Jumper in vehicle mode. It's not too bad. It's a little bit odd because Cliff Jumper's kind of got a little bit of a different vehicle mode that you've seen him in the cartoon, but I think it still works all right. And then if you bring him in alongside the other Jazz, the Power of the Primes one, he is a fair bit bigger. It's kind of a different aesthetic really that they've gone for. Just a bit of a comparison. If you are sort of thinking or umming and ahhing about the two, there's a kind of two side by side. Both pretty good toys really. Obviously you've got the combination thing with this one, whereas with the new one here, obviously he's very much in line with the cartoon and everything else like that. So that's it in terms of kind of comparisons, I think. Next up, we'll do our kind of summary, our kind of scores on the doors, and I'll let you know what I think of the figure. Right then, guys, we've got Jazz back in his robot mode for a little bit of a summary and the scores on the doors, as I've been calling it. Articulation, 9 out of 10, spot on. There's not much they could add really, I think, at this price point. He's superposable and steady. Transformation, 8. He's fun to flick back and forth and from vehicle to robot mode and vice versa. The only thing you need to remember really is that swivel in that kind of just below that chest piece there. Just to do that, otherwise that can be a little bit frustrating if you're not sure what you're doing there. As I showed on the review, accessories 7 out of 10. I sort of marked them down a little bit on here. He only comes with the gun here, which is painted. The backdrop is nice, but there's not enough room really to kind of pose him actually on it in a little bit of a wider stance. So you either have to have him kind of standing up and kind of perched on, or a little bit further forward. And then we move on to paint. I think the paint is excellent. I've given it an 8 out of 10. They've done well all over. There's great attention to detail. The stripes done really well. Build, is tolerated well. Tolerance well. There's not really any issues to speak of. Feels well made. I guess the only issue you could say is with the knee. Sometimes if you bend it, it just pops out a little bit. That might just be mine, but I'd give it an 8 out of 10. X Factor or nostalgia, whatever you want to call it. He looks like he's just stepped out of the cartoon. He comes with this cool backdrop, awesome head sculpt, and a stellar looking vehicle mode. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So then moving on, in terms of price, with the kind of paint apps, articulation, and the build that you're getting with this, you feel like you're getting decent value for money. So I'd give that an 8 out of 10. And overall, if you're looking for a chug jazz, then I think this is your bot. Great looking kind of cartoon look to him. He's fun to play with. And if you're on the fence about sort of getting it, how do I word this properly? If you haven't got, like a chug jazz, or kind of on the fence about getting this guy, like the Studio Series, I would just go out and get him. He's the best deluxe out of the wave and really worth getting. I would give it an 8 out of 10, but that's kind of marking him down a little bit, really. He's somewhere between an 8 and a 9. Definitely recommend going out and purchasing this guy. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the review. Don't forget to leave a comment, a like, subscribe, all those fantastic things. And as always, stay healthy, stay connected, stay safe. Bye-bye for now.